Well, 2022 has barely even gotten started, and it's already showing signs that it's going to be even worse than 2020 and 2021. Inflation is now higher than it's been in 40 years, and the supply chain crisis is only getting worse with every passing day. If you've been following this channel, then you know that we have been warning you for several months to get prepared for worsening shortages and inflation. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, then go ahead and subscribe now, and hit the bell while you're at it so you can stay ahead of the curve too. Over the past few days, grocery shoppers across the US have been flooding social media with images and videos of barren grocery store shelves as a result of more mass shortages. Basic necessities like bread, milk, eggs, meat, and fresh produce are in short supply, or even completely sold out, in many areas across the country, and shoppers are left scouring the aisles for anything that's left on the shelves before those items are gone too. One shopper who was recently interviewed in Washington, D.C. commented, "It's like a Soviet store during 1981, it's horrible." And as the shortages continue to worsen, the prices of everything are continuing to skyrocket as inflation spirals out of control. So, even if you're one of the lucky people that still have access to basic necessities right now, you might not be able to afford everything you need for much longer. It's already difficult to get out of the supermarket without spending more than $100 on a single bag of groceries, which is really tough on most people, so just imagine how hard it's going to be in the near future when that same bag costs $200 or even $300. The way things are going, it won't be long before that's a reality, so you need to continue preparing. The items that seem to be most affected right now, by both shortages and rampant inflation, are meat, poultry, dairy, and eggs. These items are expected to continue rising in price throughout 2022, and they are also some of the items that are hardest to find in areas where shortages are happening. If you haven't already stockpiled these items, then right now would be a good time to start doing so if you want to minimize the impact of rising food costs on your budget over the next several months. Most fresh meat and poultry can be stored long-term by freezing it, pressure canning it, dehydrating it, or even by freeze-drying it if you have the equipment. Milk can also be preserved long-term by freezing it, and many people also preserve it by pressure canning it in jars to store in the pantry, not for drinking, but to use for cooking and baking. Another way to make milk last longer is by fermenting it to make yogurt or milk kefir, both of which will extend the life of your milk by several weeks or even months. Many other dairy products like butter, and most cheeses, also freeze quite well, while other dairy products, like sour cream for instance, can be frozen just fine, but its texture might change when you thaw it out. Eggs generally have a pretty long shelf life in the refrigerator as it is, but one way to make them last even longer is by pickling them. If you've never had pickled eggs, then they may sound disgusting to you, but they are delicious, and most people who try them like them. Eggs can also be frozen to use later for cooking and baking, which is great, but you generally want to use them right away after thawing them out. You might also want to look into the old-fashioned way of preserving eggs with hydrated lime, which can preserve your eggs for up to a year without any refrigeration. On a side note, stocking up on dehydrated versions of products like powdered milk, butter, eggs and cheese is also a good way to help you stretch your frozen and canned reserves. Whatever you do, don't just sit on your laurels and wait for shortages and inflation to get even worse. Get prepared now. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon to never miss our newest videos. Thanks for watching.